roars and impacts echo like war drums across the open wilderness. Eyes burn with unyielding fire locked in a deadly stare. Muscles draw taut like a bowstring waiting for the lethal release. Every gust of wind carries the scent of danger and hot blood. Here, a single misstep can cost everything. And as the sun sinks, the air still hums with the echoes of an unfinished battle. On the sun-scorched savanna, a lone buffalo grazes, utterly oblivious that its destiny is being sealed from a distance. Concealed by the ochre grass, a pride of lionesses tracks its every motion with infinite patience. Every gaze is fixed. They are waiting for the opportune moment. Suddenly, the air itself seems to hold its breath. A silent shuffle of paws. And then the signal is given. The pride erupts, transforming the landscape into a maelstrom of dust and claws. Confronting a Cape buffalo is a task not for the faint-hearted. To bring down such a behemoth, each member of the pride must play its part to perfection. One lioness dares to breach the gap first, Naira, the seasoned huntress who never shies from the crucible of the hunt. Yet even she knows this is not a battle to be fought alone. She needs Shadow, the pride's lone male and her once trusted ally. But as the critical moment arrives, Shadow falters. He holds back, leaving Naira to face the dagger-like horns alone. The buffalo retaliates with savage force, tossing the huntress to the earth. In an instant, the hunter has become the hunted. Naira scrambles to escape, but Shadow is nowhere to be seen. But it is a fleeting victory. Alone, the buffalo cannot hope to withstand the entire pride. As Naira recovers, the lions regroup and tighten their siege. This time there is no escape, and the scales of fate tip decisively in favor of the predators. As the sun climbs higher, painting the savanna in hues of orange and gold, a great dark mass begins to move. It is the herd of African buffalo giants that together form a living wall of muscle and horn. The powerful buffaloes can measure nearly 10 feet in length, while the females, though lighter, are no less formidable. At the heart of the herd, new life is sheltered. Calves only a few months old walk on unsteady legs encircled by a protective ring of mothers and other females. In this vast shifting society, power is not seized by brute force. It is shaped by the passing of the seasons. Leadership is a mantle of wisdom worn by the most experienced of the lead females. She is the matriarch. Her horns, worn by a lifetime of trials, are not merely weapons, but a crown of experience. For etched into her mind is an unseen map, a chart of ancient riverbeds now turned to dust, and of secret subterranean waters that whisper only to her bloodline. Every step she takes is a calculation, a decision weighed against the ghosts of past droughts and the echoes of lost calves. She is the memory, the guide, the living history of the herd, and her burden is the survival of all. On the restless fringes of the herd, the mature buffaloes form a living rampart. But not all eyes are turned outward searching for danger. Here, another kind of power is stirring. He is a challenger. His horns, still dark and razor-sharp, have not yet known the dry crack of a true contest for dominance. His gaze is fixed not on the horizon but inward, toward the established buffaloes. He is ambition personified, a storm of muscle and testosterone waiting for his moment to break. In his young eyes, the scars of the old buffaloes are not badges of honor but signs of weakness. Their temper is unpredictable, and to encounter a lone buffalo is to face an impending storm. These wanderers are scarred and battle-worn, with chipped horns and a wary gaze. Disputes for status among the buffaloes can erupt without warning, turning silence into a confrontation of raw power. The herd continues its journey. The sound of hooves, of heavy breathing, and the rasp of thick hide against hide creates a symphony of survival. And at the very heart of this world of giants, protected from ambitious rivals and predators alike, is the smallest life. To this newborn, the world is a forest of moving legs. Its mother's scent is its only compass, her soft lowing its only law. Its life depends not on its own strength, which is non-existent, but on the unbreakable bond with its mother and on the living fortress of the herd. It is the future, a fragile promise on unsteady feet. And for it, every dawn is a victory. As the heat intensifies, the herd's pace slows. They know a rest under the shade of acacia trees is near, but vigilance is never abandoned. Though social creatures, buffalo maintain a complex and not always peaceful hierarchy. Two giants, each nearly 2,200 pounds of muscle and grievance, stand face to face. Two giants, each nearly a ton of muscle and grievance, stand face to face. There is no roar, no threat. Only the deafening silence of imminent violence. And then the earth itself seems to shatter. The colossal horns meet with a dry crack that echoes across the plain. The thick boss of horn where they fuse across the forehead acts as a natural shield, protecting them from the thunderous blows. These battles are rarely fatal, but the victor reinforces his position, while the loser must quietly retreat. This is the unwritten law of the savannah, ensuring that only the strongest buffaloes maintain the social order and pass on their genes. Meanwhile, the rest of the herd remains unperturbed. Bold oxpeckers perch on the buffaloes' backs, picking off parasites in a mutually beneficial arrangement. As the sun reaches its zenith, the herd seeks out the sparse shade of the acacia trees to rest. Even now, their eyes remain watchful, and their ears swivel, catching every suspicious sound. The afternoon wears on and the heat forces the herd to move again. The herd's organization is a masterpiece of survival strategy. They travel in a long, tight column with the young protected in the middle and the buffaloes forming a living barrier on either side. For the African buffalo, water is both a source of life and a place of immense danger. Many rivers are the domain of Nile crocodiles. As the herd approaches the riverbank, the experienced ones go first to test the way. They scent the air, watching the water's surface for any suspicious ripple. But caution is not always enough. From the murky stillness, an ancient reptile erupts in a blast of violence. Jaws clamp down on innocence. But the herd's reaction is not to flee. It is fury. A wall of horn and muscle turns on the attacker, a living fortress united with a single purpose: to reclaim their future. This willingness to defend their own is one of the buffalo's most potent weapons. Unlike many other species, they rarely abandon a member of the herd. When one is attacked, the herd's response is almost always to confront, not to flee. It is this trait that makes even lions think twice before attacking. However, during the long migrations of the dry season, the old weak or injured may be left behind. The survival needs of the herd must sometimes override any single bond. As night falls, the savanna's most cunning predators begin to stir. Lions, masters of the ambush, know that to bring down a buffalo requires strategy, not just strength. When danger is detected, the buffalo quickly form a defensive circle with their horns facing outward, creating a living fortress. Dawn reveals a depleted landscape. The dry season is at its peak, and the migration in search of water and food becomes a test of endurance. The young struggle to keep pace with the herd, while the old, their bodies scarred, begin to lag. But the herd does not stop. The collective memory of the lead females is the invisible map that guides them. They remember where water was found in years past, a legacy of survival passed from one generation to the next. Even in the face of adversity, the buffalo persist. Their robust bodies are capable of storing energy, and their metabolism is tuned to withstand periods of scarcity. With heavy steps and determined eyes, the herd pushes forward. Because for the African buffalo, to stop is to die. To move forward is the only path to life. Beyond their physical power, African buffalo possess one of the keenest minds among herbivores. Their memory is a formidable tool for survival. They can remember places of danger and are even believed to be capable of ambushing hunters who have previously wounded them. It is this behavior that has earned them their reputation for being unpredictable and dangerous. Communication within the herd is also a testament to their intelligence. Low, almost whispered sounds signal the direction of movement, while sharp snorts serve as a warning of danger. As the seasons change, they adjust their routines. They prioritize grazing during the cooler hours of the day to conserve energy and congregate in areas with remaining water sources. In the vastness of Africa, the buffalo is not just a survivor, but a master in the art of confronting adversity with intelligence and solidarity. Under the twilight sky, the buffalo herd moves like a living river of strength and will. Their greatest weapon is their collective spirit, the ability to protect one another and adapt in a world where only the strong and the wise can endure. This is more than a giant of muscle and horn. And so they walk on a river of life carved through a timeless land. They are more than just muscle and horn. They are a living testament to a simple, brutal truth that to survive you must stand together. And in the quiet gaze of a lone buffalo, one sees a reflection of Africa itself, wild, indomitable, and eternal. Nature reserves, it seems, are never dull. Yet the most celebrated locations often leave the deepest impression. We find ourselves now in one such place. This is the Chobe National Park in Botswana, a place of unique significance, situated near the confluence of four nations: Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Namibia. It is truly one of Southern Africa's finest sanctuaries. The park lies beside the vast and picturesque Chobe River, from which it draws its name. Spanning over 4,500 square miles, it is the nation's third largest park. Botswana is renowned for some of the world's most stringent conservation laws enforced by vigilant patrols that guard these protected territories. Each year, hundreds of thousands of visitors journey from across the globe to witness its breathtaking landscapes and so much more. The park is, of course, home to a thrilling abundance of animals and birds. Visitors can venture deep into the park by vehicle or by boat for a chance to encounter them. Yet even within the grounds of a lodge, an unusual guest might well pay a visit. It is not only the human visitors who feel at ease here, but the local residents too, both great and small. A young hippo. Calves remain exceptionally close to their mothers for a very long time. A waterbuck grazing peacefully. This animal has a simple and effective strategy for deterring predators. It keeps to the shallows where its enemies are often reluctant to follow. For the masters of the savannah, the day is not a time for action, but for a profound and strategic stillness. Every slumbering sinew conserves the explosive energy required for the coming hunt. These predators typically become active only as dusk descends. Their hunt begins at sunset and continues until dawn. At first glance, it may seem that securing a meal is no great challenge for the kings of the savannah. In truth, however, only 1 in 5 of their hunting attempts will end in success. So when the opportunity arises, a lion can consume up to 66 pounds of meat in a single sitting. It doesn't even chew thoroughly, but swallows great chunks whole. If there isn't enough to go around, the hunter might eat only 11 to 15 pounds. It's worth remembering that a pride, the term for a group of lions, can number up to 40 individuals. To secure the necessary amount of meat, they must exert a tremendous effort. It is why lions often appear so weary and are so frequently at rest. They can spend up to 20 hours a day doing just this. The Nile crocodile, a colossal reptile. Its weight can range from 500 to 1100 pounds, and its length from 11 to 20 feet. There are individuals, however, usually males, that can weigh as much as a ton. This predator is not merely resting, it is waiting. Crocodiles are such patient hunters that they can lie motionless awaiting a future victim for hours or even days. They may lurk somewhere near the bank, typically no more than 160 feet from the water's edge, or they can remain submerged, lying in wait until prey comes to them to drink, for instance. When the prey is close enough, the crocodile strikes and then tears it apart. These reptiles, incidentally, were contemporaries of the dinosaurs. Their ability to survive for long periods without food and to remain underwater gave them the means to endure circumstances in which other species perished. A crocodile possesses between 64 and 68 exceptionally sharp teeth. Furthermore, if a tooth is broken, a new one will eventually grow in its place. Here, evolution has engineered the ultimate weapon. A force of finality delivered in a single shattering moment. To be caught in these jaws is to understand the absolute inescapable power of the river's ancient king. A wire-tailed swallow perched on a branch. Most likely it is about to take flight to hunt. It feeds on insects, mainly flies, which it catches on the wing. This graceful bird measures only about 5.5 inches. The male looks very much like the female, although his tail streamers are longer. An oxpecker never misses an opportunity, however small, to alight on a hippo's back. African openbills can be found near bodies of water. They are busy feeding on freshwater mollusks, the mainstay of their diet. This is a true paradise for hippos. They live in small groups of about 20 to 30 individuals. Such an animal can weigh from 1 to 4.5 tons. Elephants always move together whether to feed or to drink. Such a community might number 10 to 20 individuals. However, there are also herds of up to 70 or 100 elephants. It is very difficult to confront even a single elephant when such great support is alongside in the most literal sense. The predators know this well. Hidden among the adults are the smallest members of the herd. They will only reach reproductive age at around 10 years old. At about 2 years of age, the young elephants will leave their mothers and join their peers. The entire herd, however, continues to care for them. An elephant needs about 26 gallons of water a day, or even more, depending on its size. Crocodiles, strangely enough, are quite social creatures, but they are not attached to their group. The large old males live mostly solitary lives. An average group of crocodiles might have 10 to 12 individuals. They often unite to search for food. 70% of these predators' diet is fish. In principle, however, they can eat any animal, including humans. Sadly, in recent years there has been a trend of crocodiles viewing people as potential prey. The number of victims ranges around 300 people per year. About 65% of these cases are fatal. Crocodiles have a rather interesting hunting tactic. For example, they can form a semicircle along a river, blocking the path of a school of fish, making them easier to catch. Within these animal groups, there is a very clear hierarchy based on the age and size of the individuals. The older and larger males are dominant. A violation of the hierarchy can lead to a rather aggressive confrontation, which may even end in death for one of the violators. Sometimes a crocodile flips onto its back. This is a signature technique unique to this reptile. Zoologists conventionally call it the death roll. Its essence is that the crocodile uses it to tear its prey into smaller pieces. Contrary to popular belief, they do not even chew their food, but tear and swallow it. By rotating its body, a crocodile can easily tear off a piece of its kill after having clamped down on the victim with its sharp teeth. The African openbill, in addition to snails, will also readily eat frogs, shrimp worms, and small fish. When food is scarce, they may even eat large insects. They search for their prey by strolling slowly along the water's edge. A juvenile malachite kingfisher. Young birds have black bills, whereas adults have bright red ones. The Goliath heron is a very patient bird that can wait a long time for its prey. The African buffalo does not stray more than 9 miles from a water source. In one go, an animal can drink 8 to 9 gallons of water. It is also an excellent swimmer. Crocodiles hunt both in the water and on land. In the first case, they can hold their breath for several hours. The entire skin of a crocodile is covered in small black spots. These are pressure receptors. They allow it to register the slightest movements in the water and thus react to the appearance of potential prey within reach. The impala is one of the most numerous antelope species on the African continent. Their numbers outside of protected areas have never significantly declined, even though they have always been a coveted prize for many predators. This is a herd of females, as they have no horns. That feature belongs only to the males. The number of individuals in such a herd can be 15 or it can be up to 100. Along with the females are the young. They usually give birth in their second year of life. Living in a herd is the safest option for impalas. It allows them to detect a predator more quickly and to scatter in a way that disorients it. The lioness is much smaller than the male lion. Females of this species can weigh from 275 to 400 pounds, while males weigh between 330 and 570 pounds. Lionesses, however, are far more agile and tend to work as a team. Consequently, they are responsible for 90% of the pride's hunts. The females are also responsible for the young. Now they are resting in an open space. These predators usually hunt from an ambush. The white-fronted bee-eater loves to hunt bees. Although this bird essentially eats any insect it can catch in flight. And then a flash of incandescent red against the canvas of green. A living ember, the red-billed firefinch seems to set the very air alight with its presence. This is a male of the species. The female is a grayish-brown. True, they are not as colorful, but they have no need for it. Such beautiful plumage is necessary for the males to attract a mate during the breeding season. They do this not only with their brilliant colors. The male takes a branch, a blade of grass, or a feather in his beak. They begin to dance before the female they wish to impress, and even sing while doing so. The weight of such a tiny creature is only between a quarter and half an ounce. This bird has as many as 6 subspecies. It feeds on the seeds of various grasses, berries, and small insects. A giant kingfisher rests on a branch. This is one of the largest birds in its family, with a length that can reach 18 inches. It can be found on the banks of water bodies. There it searches for fish, amphibians, and the crabs it so loves to eat. The malachite kingfisher is a beautiful and unusual little bird, measuring about 5.5 inches. Scientists have identified 5 subspecies of this bird. It feeds on small fish, aquatic insects, and small crustaceans. The African darter is a beautiful and rather large bird. Its length ranges from 33 to 35 inches. And here is the colorful lilac-breasted roller. It weighs only about 3.5 ounces. Besides insects, it also eats lizards, scorpions, small rodents, and even other birds. The lion's hunt for a buffalo calf has begun. Despite their formidable appearance, lions prefer weak and small prey which is easier to catch. However, they never risk approaching a full herd. Even herbivores can easily trample a predator as a group. Because the lioness is faced with a female buffalo and her calf, the outcome of this hunt is very much in question. These hoofed animals are capable of goring and killing a lion. So the predator proceeds with great caution. The Nile monitor can be quite light at just under 2 pounds, but it can also weigh up to 44 pounds. Although the species is common, it has not been fully studied. This reptile has a strong body and legs, a long tail and truly powerful jaws. Its limbs end in long clawed toes. The animal uses them to dig burrows, to climb, and to tear apart its prey. They eat small mammals, birds, and their eggs, mollusks, crabs, snails, fish insects, in short, anything they can find. The hippo opens its mouth wide to display its deadly arsenal long canine teeth, which can grow to be a foot long. These attributes have become a commercial alternative for poachers. Due to the ban on the ivory trade, they have begun to hunt hippos for their tusks. These teeth are no less valuable on the black market. As you can see, the African jacana is a unique bird that can walk on water. It's all thanks to its small weight, from just 6 to 10 ounces. This bird is a poor flyer, but an excellent diver and swimmer. It feeds on aquatic insects, mollusks, and other small invertebrates. This bird is also interesting for its atypical sexual dimorphism. The females not only differ from the males, but are also larger than them. The crocodile's main hunting tactic is the surprise attack. Even though it cannot pursue prey for a long time, it can seize it the moment it comes within a dangerous distance of the predator. In fact, most of the time, animals and birds in the wild are either looking for food or resting. Oxpeckers help many animals get rid of parasites quickly, but not always painlessly. However, the cleaning of small wounds is of great importance for health, so they can endure it. In a single day, a hippo eats an average of 90 to 110 pounds of plant food. Near the river, that is usually fresh grass and various algae. The Goliath heron is a rather large bird, about 4 feet tall, with a wingspan of 6 to 7.5 feet. It usually weighs between 9 and 11 pounds. It feeds on fish, and quite large ones at that, up to 2 pounds. It may supplement its diet with insects, amphibians, and even small mammals. The Black Death. That is the nickname the African buffalo has received. They are unpredictable and can attack humans, capable of tossing a victim on their horns and tearing them apart or trampling them if they accidentally get in the way. Hunting these animals when they are together is very dangerous. There have been cases of buffalo killing even professional hunters. Herds of these ungulates can number from 50 to 500 individuals, and during the rainy season, they can merge into groups of about 1,000. This is a defensive tactic against predators. The sheer number of these powerful herbivores frightens them away. However, lions will always be glad to attack a lone animal with their whole pride. On the list of the African buffalo's enemies are also leopards, hyenas, and African wild dogs. The great egret lives up to its name. Its weight alone ranges from 1.5 to 3.5 pounds, and its height reaches 3 feet. It moves slowly or waits for prey in the shallows. Its victims are usually frogs, snakes, fish, shrimp, as well as small rodents and various insects. The daily routine of a buffalo usually consists of periods when they go to graze and periods of rest when the animal simply lies down and digests what it has eaten. The Goliath heron is a solitary bird. It hunts by walking slowly along the shoreline. As soon as it sees prey at a distance that guarantees success, it seizes and swallows it. The African fish eagle looks into the distance. This is a fairly large bird weighing between 4.5 to 8 pounds. It exhibits sexual dimorphism. Individuals of both sexes differ, with the female being heavier than the male. It prefers fish and catches them in flight, approaching the water's surface for just a few seconds to snatch its prey from its familiar environment. However, this bird is not averse to diversifying its diet with other animals and birds. Specifically, these can be small water birds, turtles, snakes, and frogs. Now it is clear how sturdy the horns of the African buffalo are. In males, they gradually merge, forming a kind of shield around the head. This frontal shield, a fortress of bone forged over a lifetime of battles, can deflect almost any natural threat. Yet this very symbol of invincibility has become its curse, marking it as a target for a danger it was never evolved to face. It can even sleep with its eyes open. Now it is clear what its skin is like. It is very popular on the markets of many countries around the world. The skin on the back is harder than the skin on the belly. From the belly skin, very fine items are made that resemble the skin of an animal. An interesting fact, the skin on a crocodile's back is so durable that it can withstand a gunshot or a spear thrust. The common warthog has the longest gestation period among pigs, averaging 170 to 175 days. That is almost half a year. The piglets are born weighing only around a pound. Both young and adult warthogs love to roll in the mud. In this way, they create a protective layer on their skin against various parasites. These animals are omnivores, meaning they can eat both plants and food of animal origin. The territory of Chobe Park is home to one of the largest elephant populations on the African continent. According to rough estimates, there are about 50,000 individuals. As you can see, the elephants are flapping their ears. In this way, these giants cool the blood circulating there and thus quickly cool their entire body. Also, by flapping their ears, elephants communicate with each other, for example, to greet one another. Both the elephant and the buffalo belong to Africa's Big Five. This term refers to the 5 most dangerous animals, which also include the lion, leopard, and rhinoceros. Interestingly, herbivores and birds in most cases coexist peacefully with each other in the same territory. The lilac-breasted roller lives alone or in pairs. They build their nests in tree hollows. A clutch can have from 2 to 4 eggs. Both the male and female take turns incubating the eggs. The female always chooses the winner of ritual battles for mating. The males organize spectacular aerial duels, striking each other with their wings and trying to force their opponent to the ground. It is wonderful that national parks and other reserves have become a safe home for many interesting animals and birds that might have disappeared without these places. Unfortunately, that is exactly what is happening. Some species can now be found exclusively in protected areas. This space is free from poachers. Only tourists, lovers of adventure and nature, come here. And such visits are only possible in accordance with the national park's regulations. However, during your trip, do not forget the necessary precautions. No matter how friendly and cheerful the local inhabitants may seem, remember these are wild animals. To witness Chobe is to witness life at its most raw and magnificent. It is a world that existed long before us, and one that asks not for our interference but for our reverence. For in the survival of this sanctuary, we may just find a reflection of our own. And as dusk falls, this place continues its story, untouched by time, untouched by man. The midday sun beats down with such ferocity it dictates a truce. For most, this is a time for stillness. But hunger is a powerful exception to the rule. But they are also consummate opportunists, and a solitary quarry is an irresistible prize. And so a race begins. Not just against the fading strength of their quarry, but against a far more relentless clock. The sun itself. Every passing second brought them closer to a fateful victory. Even alone, a full-grown buffalo is a formidable adversary. A single sweep of its horns could easily prove fatal. Driven to the very edge of heat exhaustion, they finally wrestle the colossal beast to the ground. But the great bull is far from defeated. Against all odds and the weight of the entire pride, he summons the strength to rise. And in this moment, the tide begins to turn. After a 20-minute struggle, the lions are utterly spent. Now, it is the buffalo that possesses the reserves to end this mortal contest. In this harsh and unforgiving landscape, the struggle between predator and prey is at its most raw. From the bush, a lion steps into the clearing. They call him Shadow, a name that speaks of a destiny forged in the heart of this ancient land. The name fits him well. His mane, the mantle of an ancient warrior, gleams with gold and jet, especially thick and dark across his chest. His powerful frame moves with a slow, controlled grace. Each step is deliberate and sure, an assertion of the power he holds at 8 years of age. His face is a map of past battles etched with scars. This is no mere predator, but a seasoned combatant. He walks through the scorched grass with no need to hide or look back. This is his time, his land, and his family. He is approaching his pride. In the shade of a tree, lioness's young males and 4 small cubs are waiting. Tiny paws cling to a mother's soft flank, while milk teeth test an ear, a tail her patient hide. They do not yet know this world can be brutal. They know only their mother's warmth, and she knows he is near. The lionesses have sensed his presence. One, acting as a sentry, lifts her head slightly. Her ears are pricked, her eyes bright with confidence. Shadow draws closer. His eyes are a warm amber, yet his gaze holds an immense authority. He pauses at the edge of the thicket, surveying his domain with a regal air, before unhurriedly lifting his tail to mark his claim. This is his land. One of the lionesses, perhaps his younger mate, trots forward. She nudges Shadow's flank playfully. A gentle nip to the neck is a gesture of affection, not a challenge. Her eyes sparkle as she gives a low purr. but his attention is drawn further. He looks towards Kali. Kali lies in the shade, relaxed but ever vigilant. Her tail twitches softly, and on her back her cubs are at play. Kali rises and moves towards Shadow, her boisterous cubs trailing behind her, overjoyed to see their father's return. Kali approaches with the quiet confidence and tenderness known only to long-bonded mates. Her every movement seems to say, "You are home." Meanwhile, the bravest of the cubs has discovered the black tuft on Shadow's tail. It pounces as if it were the most magnificent toy. The tail flicks, but Shadow does not pull away. The formidable king of the pride is now simply a father. Shadow is not hungry. Nearby, the half-eaten carcass of an impala is the evidence of a swift royal hunt. Now the first of the scavengers begin to arrive. A helmeted guinea fowl with its red face and grey plumage struts confidently. It seeks not meat but the insects that have begun to gather on the remains of the feast. It knows the lion is sated and will not return. Among the dry branches, a crested barbet sits motionless. Its vibrant plumage seems made to stand out in the vivid world of the savannah. Perched in the gnarled branches, a crested barbet. Its existence, a masterclass in foresight. With a beak strong enough to splinter bark, it unearths a beetle larva. But this is not for today. In a world of constant uncertainty, it practices a rare art among birds, saving for a time of need. With a beak as red as fire and a keen eye, the southern ground hornbill is a living symbol of the African savanna. It strides purposefully across the parched earth, searching for small insects under leaf litter and dry grass. When the breeding season arrives, the female seals herself inside a tree hollow, depending entirely on her faithful mate to pass morsels of food through a narrow slit. This bird's distinctive booming call is a familiar refrain in this wild land. Though small, the ground hornbill is a brave warrior, ever alert to the dangers that lurk in the wilderness. Two Smith's bush squirrels sit on a fallen log. This arched trunk may very well be their home. They hold something in their forepaws, nibbling rapidly while their bushy tails twitch. These squirrels move across the ground with confidence. One pauses, sniffing the air, while the other is already foraging in the dry grass. Smith's bush squirrel is a diurnal species living in the savannas and open woodlands of southern Africa. Their diet consists of seeds, fruits, insects, and occasionally birds' eggs. They prefer to eat what they find immediately rather than hoarding it. Meanwhile, Callie is playing with her cubs. They lie in the tall grass near a fallen tree, a cozy refuge. The young ones clamber over their mother, wrestling playfully with one another, grabbing at ears and tails. One climbs the log and attempts a leap onto its sister, clumsy but full of spirit. Carly leans in, opens her mouth, and gently clasps the scruff of her cub's neck. The same jaws that can kill an antelope are now a vessel of tenderness. For her it is a lesson, for them it is a game, but for the pride they are its most precious and vulnerable asset. As youngsters, they could be hunted by jackals, hyenas, even eagles. But there are also invisible enemies, ticks, fleas, and parasitic infections. For now, however, they appear quite healthy. Their eyes are clear. Their mother licks them constantly, not just to clean their fur, but to reassure them. In her milk lies their first protection, and she gives it generously. Each day is a test, but they live their lives to the fullest. Callie remains with her cubs. Her movements are slow, precise, almost ceremonial. She licks one cub's ear while gently pushing another away with her paw, as if to say, "Your turn will come." A litter of 4 is by no means rare. A lioness can have from 1 to 6 cubs, but 2, 3, or 4 is most common. The number of surviving young depends on many factors: the mother's age and health, and the condition of the environment. A lioness gives birth alone. She leaves the pride seeking a secluded den. For the first few weeks, it is just her and the new lives. Then she will bring them back. The pride is her support, and also her responsibility. In a typical pride, there are between 2 and 4 adult females. Their cubs are raised communally, suckling from one another and protected by all. And most importantly, 1 or 2 adult males. As long as they reign, order is maintained. But this order is not eternal. One day strangers will come to challenge them. If they succeed, they will kill all cubs that are not of their bloodline, not out of cruelty but out of instinct. Callie and the other lionesses know this. It is why they stay together. But for now, Shadow is near, and he is their protector. As long as he is strong, they can play in safety. Shadow lies under a tree. His deep, vibrating roar is not a threat, but a declaration: I am here. To other lions, it is a warning. This territory is taken. To his pride, it is reassurance. His voice is a protective wall. The lionesses hear it, and they know they are safe. A loud roar can be heard from over 5 miles away. Even when there is no one in the bush, he still calls out to let all know his family is here. He seems to be resting, but in reality, he is at work. He is keeping his entire world in balance. Beneath a bush, two male lions are resting. One is Shadow, the other is almost his duplicate with a mane only slightly darker. This is likely his brother, his ally, in protecting the pride. But the cubs have no desire to sleep. They run, wrestle, and make mischief. Two of them sneak up on Shadow. One clambers onto his back, while the other makes a surprise leap onto his belly. Shadow is startled from his sleep. He lifts his head with a look of sternness, but not anger. Meanwhile, another cub turns to Shadow's brother and begins to lick his enormous paws. The male lion merely squints his eyes and rolls over to enjoy it. The cub continues its grooming game, and Shadow's brother suddenly rises, batting at it gently with his broad paw. It is only a game. Now, two others begin to chew on the tuft of Shadow's tail, growing ever bolder. Shadow closes his eyes again, trying to ignore their antics. But soon the others join in. When another cub runs at full speed and crashes into Shadow's back, he sighs, gets up and walks away. Then Shadow's roar catches in his throat, silenced not by a challenge, but by a presence that demands respect. Through the trees, grey mountains take shape. Elephants. They move with the weight of ages, and for them, the king of beasts is merely a part of the landscape they command. A herd of elephants appears between the trees. They move slowly, as if the forest itself is parting to let them pass. They pay no mind to the lions. To them, lions are just noise in the landscape. They are the powerful ones and all know it. Elephants live in families. An old wise female leads as matriarch. She remembers where to find water, where to find salt, where the rains have fallen. The herd communicates not just with sound, but with vibrations that travel through the ground. They can sense one another from miles away. After wandering near the pride for a time, the elephant herd turns towards the open plain. They are heading to where the forest ends to a place of importance, or perhaps simply continuing their journey. Shadow is thirsty. He walks to the waterhole alone, slowly and with confidence. He lowers his head and begins to drink. Water is a rarity, and each sip is almost a ritual. He drinks deliberately, without haste. He drinks alone, slightly apart from the others. This is his territory, his water source, and he behaves with the dignity of one who holds power. Two lionesses arrive later, but do not approach him. They choose another spot at the waterhole, keeping a respectful distance. Between them and Shadow is not just a physical space, but a boundary of roles, habits, and hierarchy. He is the leader. They are part of the pride. Two cheetahs appear on the open plain. Their steps are hurried, their bodies tense. They are leaving frequently, looking back as if sensing the threat from the lion's territory. When a cheetah crosses that invisible line, if spotted by an adult male lion, it stands no chance. A lion does not kill a cheetah for food. It is an act of dominance, an elimination of a competitor. The cheetah's agile body cannot withstand the lion's power. One pounce, and it is over quickly. After the lion pride has departed, an elephant herd approaches the waterhole. Among the adults are two young calves. They rush to the water's edge, noisily sucking up water with their short trunks. Then they nestle against their mother's flanks for a familiar source of milk. Elephant milk is an essence of life. It is fatty and dense with a fat content that can exceed 10%, 2 or 3 times that of human milk. It is this fat that provides the energy needed for the rapid growth of their bodies and brains. It contains less lactose but is richer in minerals than cow's milk. Compared to human milk, which is tailored for brain development, elephant milk is fuel for a life of hard work from the very first weeks. An elephant calf nurses for a long time, sometimes up to 2 years or more. This drink is its strength and its protection. The waterhole at the heart of the savannah is a crossroads for countless creatures. The quiet never lasts long. No sooner have the elephants left than a new procession arrives. First, the warthogs. They move with a spirited gait, their tails held high like antennae. Nearly every one has an oxpecker perched on its back. These birds perform a vital service, cleaning their host's skin of parasites and tending to small wounds. Guinea fowl, as always, are everywhere. They weave between the legs of the larger beasts, gleaning leftover morsels. And then a new wave approaches. Wildebeest, Their herd is vast, dark, and perpetually on edge. They move in unison like a single organism. They are wary, scenting the ground in a constant state of unease. They are the grazers who always know the price of a moment's inattention. The warthog, a creature that looks as if it was sculpted from the earth itself. Its skin is rough, its legs short but strong, and a pair of long tusks juts out like weapons. It walks with its tail held high. This is no random gesture. In the tall grass, the tail becomes a beacon, helping its young to keep sight of their mother. Warthogs are grazers, but they will not refuse roots, tubers, fruit, or even carrion if necessary. It does not build complex homes. An old aardvark burrow will suffice. It will back into the burrow, leaving its sharp tusks pointing outwards for defense. Though it may appear cumbersome, a warthog can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour and becomes formidable when cornered. All that is left of the night's hunt are ribs, dust, and a lingering scent. Vultures descend one by one upon the impala carcass. By midday, they are finishing their work. With their long necks, they reach into the skeleton, using their powerful beaks to tear away the last sinews. Occasionally, a brief squabble erupts, but it is quickly over. Each has its share in this ancient ritual. They are the land's undertakers, performing a vital ancient rite. In their bellies, a fierce alchemy turns death back into life, neutralizing disease and purifying the soil. They are the silent guardians of the savanna's health. At a distance, a marabou stork stands silently observing. Its time will come later when the competition has thinned. When only skin and bone remain, the flock of vultures takes to the sky, leaving behind silence and a purified space. The circle is now closed. What was once life has now become food. What was once food is now only bone. A giraffe approaches the waterhole. This is an artificial water source created to attract both animals and tourists. The giraffe appears to be adorned with a living necklace. It is a group of oxpeckers diligently picking parasites from its neck and back. This is an ancient and mutually beneficial alliance. The giraffe pauses its eyes, cautious. It knows how vulnerable it becomes when it lowers its head to drink. First, it cleans its nostrils with its long, flexible tongue. This dark purple tongue can be up to 18 inches long. For an eternity, it scans the horizon. To drink is to surrender its greatest advantage, its height. It must perform a dangerous ballet, spreading its legs, lowering its magnificent head into the jaws of vulnerability. And in the shadows, the lions watch. They know patience is the sharpest claw of all. It hesitates. It bends down slowly, then suddenly stands erect again as if something has alarmed it. It tries once more, bending its knees, spreading its legs. The graceful creature now becomes angular and unsteady. It almost touches its lips to the water, but no, it straightens up again, neck tense, eyes vigilant. Finally, when nothing else seems to disturb it, it bends down again, slowly, confidently. It begins to drink cautiously but deeply, savoring the rare chance to quench its thirst. On the giraffe's knees, the skin is often calloused and hairless. This is not a disease, but a result of habit and anatomy. When a giraffe kneels, this part of its body makes contact with the hard ground. Over time, the skin here thickens, becoming a form of natural protection. A giraffe can drink up to 10 to 15 liters of water at a time, but it does so quite rarely. Most of the liquid it needs is absorbed from the leaves it eats. Its spotted coat is for more than just camouflage. Each giraffe has a unique pattern like a human fingerprint. These patches play a crucial role in regulating body temperature. Beneath each patch lies a network of blood vessels that helps to release excess heat from the body. In the dusty landscape, a family of Burchell's sandgrouse is on the move. The male, with his shimmering plumage, leads the way. Beside him is the female, her coat a perfect camouflage, almost merging with the ground. Between them, the chicks scurry about pecking at seeds and insects. Their parents keep them close, using calls to guide and encourage them. The father displays a remarkable behavior. In the morning, he flies tens of miles to the nearest waterhole. The feathers on his breast have a unique structure that allows them to hold water. He soaks himself, collecting the moisture, then flies back. The eager chicks run to him and drink the precious drops directly from their father's body, a moving ritual of paternal devotion. Virtual sand grouse are masters of camouflage. They lay their eggs directly on the ground, and their color blends perfectly with the surroundings. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of rose and ash blue. The shadows of the tall acacia trees stretch across the land. For the lion pride, things are just beginning. As dusk falls, the pride awakens. The lionesses stretch their movements, becoming more focused. The wind carries scents. Perhaps wildebeest are nearby, perhaps impala. Shadow and his brother stand motionless, listening to the distant sounds. Tonight, their duty is to keep watch. The lionesses disappear into the darkness. They move swiftly and almost without a sound. This is their time. They hunt not for sport, but for the life of the entire pride, for a tomorrow that must come. Meanwhile, the lion cubs have fallen into a deep sleep. They are curled together in a warm pile of fur. They sleep with complete trust, for they know the adults are beside them, that their world is beside them. And so, another day in wild Africa comes to a close. A day in which every creature has played its part, from the fragile sand grouse to the mighty lion. Life goes on. Tomorrow it will all begin again. Africa, a continent where life itself moves to the beat of an ancient, immutable rhythm. But this stage is ruled by a caste of titans, a brotherhood of rivals known to those who walk here with respect and fear as the Big Five. They are the very embodiment of power, of resilience, and of the raw instinct for survival. Each is a warrior in its own right, sometimes an unseen force, sometimes a raging storm. From the patient stalk to the head-on charge, there is no quarter given to the weak. Here, any encounter could be the last. They are more than symbols. They are the sculptors of this land. Their trails carve its paths, their calls define its silences. They are legends written in the very earth they command. And in this world of no compromise, who truly reigns supreme? Beneath Africa's golden sunset, a creature emerges from the shadows. It is the African leopard. They are not the continent's largest cat, but they possess a potent combination of strength and agility that commands the respect of every creature nearby. The male leopard is a paradox of power, a ribbon of muscle stretching up to 7 feet, yet seldom weighing more than a man. It is a creature built not for sheer mass, but for devastating efficiency. Females, by contrast, are more slightly built, weighing from 62 to 132 pounds and standing about 22 to 25 inches tall. This difference reflects a trait known as sexual dimorphism, an evolutionary process that helps each gender develop to enhance its specific survival role. As light filters through the canopy, the leopard's golden coat is adorned with its iconic black rosettes. Studies indicate their patterns are not merely for camouflage. They also reveal how this species has adapted to specific habitats across Africa. Leopards in tropical rainforests tend to have smaller, denser spots to blend into the shadows, while those on the grasslands have larger patterns. Their entire body structure is a masterpiece of biology, compact yet immensely powerful, with muscular shoulders and legs. Though short, their legs are incredibly strong, allowing them to scale vertical tree trunks, while still gripping heavy prey in their sharp jaws. A leopard is often seen hauling an antelope weighing twice its own body weight up into a tree. This is no act of bravado, but a strategy for survival. Even more astounding is their vast adaptability. From the jungles of Central Africa to the high rocky mountains of Kenya, over 16,000 feet. This species can be found in most sub-Saharan regions. The ability to thrive in such a range of harsh environments makes the African leopard one of the most widely distributed big cats on Earth. Unlike lions that rely on prides or buffalo that find strength in numbers, the African leopard walks a different path. Silent, solitary, but devastatingly effective. That solitude is not born of necessity. It is in their nature. Leopards do not live in prides. Each individual holds its own territory. A recent survey revealed their diet is incredibly varied depending on the ecological region they inhabit. In areas with abundant antelope or warthogs, those animals become primary targets, but they also hunt monkeys, reptiles, birds, fish, and insects. But what truly defines their hunting prowess is not just what they hunt, but how they hunt. Unlike predators that chase with speed or attack with brute force, the leopard stalks like a phantom, closing in on its target. They move until they are only about 16 feet away before launching a precision pounce. A single bite to the throat or the back of the neck quickly suffocates the prey, ending its struggle. This method helps the leopard conserve energy, a critical advantage for a solitary hunter. Observations at Kruger National Park show that most hunting occurs from dusk until dawn. This behavior helps them avoid confrontations with more powerful competitors. Leopards also possess exceptional night vision and acute hearing. Biologically, their hunting success rate is not exceptionally high, at only about 38%. They do not always win, but they know when to strike and when to withdraw. Most importantly, they know how to keep what they have earned. In the wilds of Africa, leopards and lions are not allies, they are natural rivals. A study at Sabi Sand revealed that lions are responsible for up to 22% of adult leopard deaths, primarily through stealing food or targeting cubs. Leopards in turn avoid direct conflict. They retreat into dense forests, operate mainly at night, and use their climbing skills to hide food high in the trees. The rate of keeping a meal after hauling it up a tree is as high as 85% compared to just 42% if left on the ground. However, lions can scent a carcass very quickly. A male lion had located the tree where the leopard had stashed its prey. It attempted to climb the tree to steal the prize. The leopard hastily climbed to the highest branches, aware that the lion might actually reach the carcass. Although lions can climb in some situations, they are not natural climbers. The leopard let out a soft growl and swiftly pulled the prey higher, watching carefully from above. For a moment, the king of the savannah is reduced to a frustrated grappler, his power useless against the vertical world. Defeated not by force, but by physics, he retreats into the shadows, his royal dignity momentarily bruised. Interestingly, the lion's advantage is not just in pride strength, it is also about size. A newborn lion cub weighs nearly twice as much as a leopard cub. They are also raised by multiple lionesses together, but a mother leopard is alone. That is why, when protecting her young, a leopardess becomes a fierce warrior. She often hides her cubs in rock crevices or tree hollows and watches over them constantly, as their survival rate in the first few years is only about 50%. Lions hunt leopard cubs, not out of hunger but as a strategy to limit future competition. If a leopard cub survives its first year, its chances of survival increase dramatically, reaching 80 to 90% in adulthood. But as adults, they face a new challenge: territorial overlap. If a lion discovers a leopard in its domain, a chase is almost certain to ensue. And though the leopard is often outmatched, it has never disappeared. It survives through adaptation, patience, and strategy. Among all species, the lion is revered as a king, but in the Big Five, it is just one member of the group. Male lions have a body length of 5.5 to 7 feet, not including the tail stand, about 4 feet at the shoulder, and weigh between 330 and 550 pounds. Their manes, a sign of strength and dominance, darken from light blonde to deep brown with age. Around them, the lionesses have a sleeker appearance, weighing only between 265 and 400 pounds. The roar of a male lion can carry for up to 5 miles. It is a proud declaration: this is our territory. But that roar is more than a warning. It is also a call of connection, guiding pride members safely home. Hidden within the tuft of the tail is a hard, spine-like structure at the very tip, an anatomical mystery whose function is still not fully understood. In the past, lions roamed across Africa, Asia, and southeastern Europe. Today, only about 20,000 to 25,000 African lions remain. Their ideal habitats are vast savannas and grasslands, with acacia trees home to wildebeest, African buffalo, and various antelope species. Unlike any other big cat lions, are social, living in groups called prides, a unique social structure in the feline world. Each pride typically consists of 1 to 7 adult males who are often brothers or individuals who have formed a coalition. They share the responsibility of defending a vast territory, sometimes spanning hundreds of square miles. Surrounding this male coalition are 5 to 15 related lionesses. They are the core of the pride, primarily responsible for hunting, raising cubs, and preserving the bloodline. A hallmark of lions is their clear division of roles. Lionesses carry out about 85 to 90% of the hunting. Groups of 3 to 7 lionesses execute coordinated strategies. Some ambush from the front, while others circle around the flanks. This strategy is particularly effective against large prey like wildebeest zebra or the African buffalo. A study by Panthera and the University of Oxford found that small groups of 3 to 7 individuals have the highest hunting success rates. Statistics also show that lionesses with strong social bonds are 30% more likely to live longer than those who are solitary. Meanwhile, male lions, though less involved in hunting, play a critical role in controlling territory reproduction. When a new coalition takes over, a pride infanticide can occur. They eliminate the unweaned cubs of the previous males. This behavior, though seemingly cruel, reflects a biological strategy to maximize the spread of their own genes. Interestingly, prides do not always move as a single unit. They can split into smaller subgroups. This model is known as a fission-fusion society, a flexible social structure that allows lions to adapt more effectively to environmental changes. Research at Kruger National Park shows that leopards lose between 38% and 50% of their kills to scavengers, with lions being the primary culprits. Leopards often avoid areas with signs of lions and use tall trees and cliffs to avoid direct confrontation. A male lion spots a leopard with its kill on a decaying tree. The leopard had not yet managed to move the kill to a higher branch. Climbing ability in lions differs between the sexes. Male lions struggle to climb high branches. Their heavy weight makes it difficult to maintain balance. Their manes are not only heavy but also cumbersome, obscuring their vision and easily getting tangled in low branches. Pity the leopard. It could do nothing but watch from above. As for the lion, although it couldn't climb higher, it found what it wanted: a portion of the kill left behind by the leopard. If in the previous situation the male lion seemed inflexible, the lioness, the main driver of the hunts, is nearly as adept at climbing as a leopard. A leopard had successfully hunted a young impala and carried it up a tall tree, as it often does. But two lionesses spotted it and quickly ascended. Perhaps this tree was within their pride's territory. A confrontation erupted. Perhaps the lioness came not just to steal the meal, she was also sending a message to the leopard that it did not belong here. After a few attempts to approach, the lioness chose to leave the leopard in peace and climbed down, growling in frustration. But having a meal stolen by a lion is still better for a leopard than being surrounded by an entire pride. Such an unequal encounter was recorded: 12 lions against a single male leopard. They encircled the leopard and began to wear it down. The leopard's most ferocious counterattack was to lie on its back and use its sharp claws to rake at any lion that tried to bite it. But that did not slow the pride. One by one, they closed in and attacked relentlessly. Inevitably, the solitary warrior's strength begins to wane. The circle tightens, and under the weight of the pride, a life of silent stealth is extinguished by a roar of collective dominance. The goal of these confrontations is not always to secure food. One explanation is to eliminate a rival or assert control over territory. The lion's favorite meal is ungulates, but within the Big Five there is only the African buffalo. A single lion cannot take down an African buffalo alone. It needs at least one ally. However, things do not always go smoothly. To hunt prey 3 or 4 times its own weight, a lion often needs to mobilize the entire pride. The lionesses surrounded the prey from all sides, always dodging when the buffalo charged. It pushed against the lion's back and helped its friend to its feet. The mission now was to protect the buffalo's injured rear and find a path to escape. A lioness leaped onto its back and bit down, paving the way for nearly 10 others to rush in. The buffalo cried out in desperation. It was flipped onto its back, exposing its vulnerable neck. More than 10 lions surrounded it, but then they suddenly stopped and scattered. With help, the injured buffalo stood up again. Its body was now covered in wounds. The interruption had rekindled the pride's determination. They bit at its legs and back until it finally collapsed for good. Only then did the pride claim its meal. When a pride is too small adult, African buffalo are not an easy target. One study found that a lioness's heart makes up only 0.57% of her body weight, compared to 0.45% in males. If they cannot secure a throat hold, it is very difficult to bring down a buffalo. Now let us explore the only ungulate in the Big Five. Under the brilliant savanna sun, there is a creature whose presence radiates a natural authority. This is the African buffalo or Cape buffalo, a wild bovine built like a mobile fortress, heavy yet immensely proud. In nature, they are not predators, but they possess a power that even lions must think twice about. They stand from 3 to 5.5 feet, at the shoulder are over 10 feet long, and adult males weigh around 1,500 pounds, sometimes up to 2,000 pounds. Females are lighter, typically between 900 and 1,300 pounds. With such mass, a single glance reveals the powerful muscles rippling beneath their dark hides. Their coat color also tells a story. Newborn calves often have reddish-brown fur which darkens to black or dark brown as they mature. A buffalo's head is almost always bowed, not just for grazing, but as a state of constant vigilance. The African buffalo roams across sub-Saharan Africa from the vast plains of the Serengeti to the sparse woodlands of Central Africa. They cannot survive far from water, needing to drink daily to regulate their body temperature and metabolism. Their primary diet consists of tall, coarse grasses, plants that many other herbivores avoid. A 1,500-pound buffalo eats about 33 pounds of grass per day. This intake not only sustains the individual, but also helps manage the local vegetation. Their ecological role extends beyond that of an herbivore. African buffalo help shape the vegetation structure and are a crucial food source for predators like lions. Many other herbivores choose to stay near buffalo herds, taking advantage of this living shield against enemies. The Black Death. That is the name local people and seasoned explorers use for the African buffalo. Not because of its coat color, but because of its fierce nature and indomitable strength. The strength of this buffalo lies not just in its massive frame, it lies in how they live, never alone. They are a symbol of herd spirit, of discipline, and of an unbreakable connection. An African buffalo herd can range from a few dozen to over 1,000 individuals structured into family units. Within the herd structure, males play a unique role. Young bulls from 4 to 7 years old, or those older than 12, often form bachelor groups. This clear separation helps minimize internal conflict and allows the herd to function effectively under the leadership of experienced females. Beyond their fighting ability, it is remarkable that an African buffalo herd does not move aimlessly. Their direction is often decided through a form of natural voting, where adult females express consensus through specific gestures. The most recognizable feature of the African buffalo is its massive set of horns. In adult males, the thick horns curve down from the top of the head. At the base, the horns merge into a bony shield over 2 inches thick, called a boss, a natural helmet. The distance between the horn tips can exceed 3 feet and in rare cases can reach over 5 feet. And those horns can toss a lion if it dares to approach an angry herd. A typical herd of the Black Death has between 50 and 500 individuals. This number naturally surpasses that of a lion pride. In resource-rich areas like the Okavango Delta in Botswana, herds can number 1,000 or more. A pride of lions confronted them on the floodplain. Even young lions must learn to swim through the wetlands, otherwise they risk being trampled under the hooves of the African buffalo. On the other hand, buffalo calves are often targeted by lions. A mother buffalo must both protect her calf and signal for help from the bulls in the herd. When threatened, especially when a calf is in danger, the herd does not hesitate to counterattack. But in the Big Five, it is not just lions that threaten buffalo calves. The leopard, a master of the night, is also a formidable danger. Cape buffalo have fairly good daytime vision. A lone leopard is usually not worth the effort of chasing away. However, as night falls, their vision diminishes significantly. This creates an opportunity for a leopard to sneak close to the herd under the cover of darkness. Taking advantage of the chaos as the Cape buffalo herd scattered at the sight of a predator, the leopard managed to catch a calf. During the day, if a leopard happens to cross paths with a herd of buffalo, it would not even think of stopping. If the herd gives chase, the leopard can climb to a height the buffalo cannot reach. It then waits, watching for a moment of inattention from the herd to make its escape. What gives the African buffalo its moniker, the Black Death, is not its social structure but its reaction to danger. They are known for their aggressive temperament, unpredictable behavior, and extremely powerful defensive instincts. Even when facing elephants, the largest member of the Big Five, they do not always back down. African bush elephants and Cape buffalo are often found together in areas with abundant water and grass. But during the dry season, when water becomes scarce, elephants tend to dominate, forcing buffalo to change their drinking times. However, the African buffalo has a presence of its own. An elephant might chase it away, but not with force. One elephant used its trunk to shoo the buffalo away, but the buffalo refused to budge. The elephant then lifted its leg and kicked the buffalo in the head. It was immediately met by a butt from the buffalo's thick, heavy horns. In another instance, when an elephant shooed a buffalo away, the buffalo turned and stared at the elephant. It was clearly not pleased. Seeing the Black Death standing its ground silently, the elephant backed away and stood still until the buffalo finally left. But does that mean the African bush elephant is timid? Let's find out.